Hi, my name is Joachim. I'm one of the Senior Clinical Research Fellows within the tech group. I work as a first-year neurosurgery trainee here at Queen Square, and my principal interest in the tech group is digital surgery, which includes both artificial intelligence and robotic applications in neurosurgery. One of the key AI projects that we're working on seeks to improve the recruitment to clinical trials for patients afflicted with brain tumours. Unfortunately, it remains a relatively common diagnosis across the UK, and despite heavy research across many years, the outcomes for patients with these diagnoses hasn't particularly improved. That's specific to patients with high-grade brain tumours, so diagnoses such as glioblastomas. Now, one of the key problems with, or one of the key reasons why we're not improving outcomes is actually due to issues with the research we're able to perform. In order to answer clinical questions about things like why these tumours form, what sort of treatments work for them, we need to develop clinical trials that answer these questions. And one of the key barriers to creating good answers to these questions is about the volume of patients we're able to enroll into these clinical trials. If we don't have enough patients, then we can't generalize our findings, which then limits how many conclusions we're able to draw. But others have done research exploring why these trials don't recruit as much as we'd want to ideally. And this isn't actually a problem that's specific to brain tumor research, but actually all of research in general. And particularly within neurosurgery, however, we know that those that are responsible for identifying patients that are suitable for clinical trials are often busy clinicians. And clinicians have lots of responsibilities. They're managing patients on the wards, they're seeing patients in clinic and trying to deliver a diagnosis, deliver a treatment recommendation. And at the same time, if they're also expected to remember all the different clinical trials that are available across, for example, their own unit, but also the UK, it's very difficult to know exactly which patients fits which trials, because every particular trial has specific inclusion and exclusion criteria. So how can we address this with AI? Well, what we're aiming to do is take a cog stack which can automatically read clinical letters or clinical notes and identify relevant key terms. And we did some preclinical research which showed that actually CogStack was incredibly good at picking up the diagnosis of a brain tumor and also specific subtypes just by reading clinic letters that a clinician would perform anyway. And what our project seeks to do is develop this algorithm and integrate it with a clinical trial database so that whilst a clinician goes about seeing their patient and treating them normally, the algorithm will work in the background to think which particular clinical trial is this specific patient suitable for, and then can flag this to the relevant clinical research team. Our hope is that by offloading the responsibility of identifying patients that are suitable for clinical trials off of clinicians, we can significantly improve the volume of patients we're able to recruit and do that in a more efficient manner, which doesn't rely on human resources in the same way. We're very grateful to the National Brain Appeal for having sponsored 3 years of clinical research fellows that will help drive this project forward, and hope to demonstrate the fact that AI can significantly improve the recruitment in clinical research.